Hey, everybody, we are live. And as promised, this is the late version of the show. This is the, how would I put it? Um, oh, hey, Orlando, how you doing?
Happy birthday, Zennie.
Appreciate that, man.
Yeah,
Thank you very, very much.
yeah.
Yeah. How's the Green Party in Alameda County going?
Oh, everything's going good. It's going good. We got the endorsements coming up. So it's been very interesting in these days and times. But thanks to your wisdom, it makes it easier.
Oh, hey, man. I appreciate that. Hey, so what do you think? I don't know if you've heard, well, yeah. How do you think this recall is going to play out? How do you think the election is going to play out? What do you think is going to be happening?
I think that the community is going to come more together and understand that it's two different sides of Oakland. And once they stay out of that side of Oakland and we focus on us as registered voters, regular citizens doing what we need to do, it's going to make it better. And I see the shift. But I don't think the recall is going to happen, though.
Well, whoa, that's you mean? Explain.
Well, reason why I don't believe it, I believe it's not that people are mad at Shane Tal or don't support Shane Tal. That's why I'm saying it's a different group that's dealing with two different entities. So when you're looking at folks who dealing with the city, who's trying to make sure that we can make sure that this department get turned over to this department, like the oversight committee with the police commission and how you can take internal affairs and all those major issues and bring it back to the city and have the city deal with those issues. I think that's more important with the people because if you recall Shane Tal or if you recall Pamela Price, how can you recall two people at one time? So I think those folks who need to focus on making sure that systematic and our democracy stays and have that integrity, it would help move out whatever the other stuff is going on.
So, but how do you think the vote's going to go down? Because I mean, it's on the ballot, so you know.
Yeah, if most people, if they look at the numbers, we're only talking about 40,000. So if you got 40,000 signatures that translate into 40,000 votes, if you have a city that's over 400,000 plus and they said, hey, we don't need this, it makes it different because there's a lot of democratic situations. So if you look at the 560,000 registered Democrats in Alameda County, then you take those that's registered in Oakland, besides the Republicans, what issue can it be when it's a party issue that's separated from those folks that's involved with the city?
So I mean, because I guess in my mind's eye, I can't see anything other than the mayor being recalled.
Yeah, but see, this would be not defending the mayor or nothing. I'm just saying systematic. If you if you recall the mayor, then you have to do a special election. Who are you going to put in as the new mayor, and who has enough time to run afoul of their papers to not inherit the same issue that this mayor did?
Well, you do. You can run for mayor. I mean, a number
Yeah,
of people. It's just a matter of want to. I mean,
right. But
it's
I think if the community see that systematically, it's two separate parties we're talking about: the city of Oakland, the city council, and the mayor's administration. Them administrations is two separate entities. So the mayor and the city council come up with something or they draft something, and then they pass it on to the city to see if the city want it, or vice versa. If the city have something, it goes to the council. So it's two different leverages. So 246, it don't matter who we have in office systematically, if we don't come up with something so no one don't have to be recalled, that means is you're going to tap into the charter. Now you went to the county charter. Now you don't have to worry about the election. They want to get appointed.
okay. So you lost me because I mean, I don't understand because I think I'm trying to understand how you're thinking about it because it doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be mean. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah,
You
no,
know.
what I'm saying is like it's two different parties. So when you come to what I mean by that is say you have the recall folks. So the folks that's on the recall, folks, is one different group. That's the group that's going against the billionaires, them the folks that's name dropping who the billionaires is. Those,
Well, I'm not a billionaire, and I want a recall.
yeah, but that's the thing is if you can take more energy and focus on the negatives of what's happening, where is the energy to focus on the positive things that we can do to help our city with those elite and professional minded type of people.
But the reality is that you have a recall on the
Yeah,
ballot. It's not coming off. People
correct.
make a decision,
Yeah,
and the way everything is slanting, and we haven't even begun to talk about the whole FBI issue.
right.
All right.
But the separate entity, yes.
Okay, we haven't even started talking about that. So my point is, it spells Shang being recalled,
Right. So
unless of course, she resigns ahead of time.
right. So then
Right.
who do you want to put it in her position to
Well,
inherit?
we'll have an interim mayor. Well, the
Yeah.
interim, more than likely, there people believe it'll be Kevin Jenkins. You know, but for reasons of kind of, well, who's on first or what's on second? In other words, yeah, because you think about it, you have City Council District 1 up for re-election. You've got District 3 up for re-election.
Yes.
And I don't know if you know Carol Fife's husband or boyfriend or whatever, he's in big trouble. You know
Right.
about that, right?
But when you look at it, if you look at District 1,
All right.
Dan Cal, that seat is pretty much going to be pretty much open because Dan Cal, hopefully he might not run. So they'll
Right.
count.
Yeah, there's slate. Like there's I think 7 different candidates for District 1 alone.
Yes, so that's one, right? So that means is even though you recall the mayor, we just talking about systematically, you're gonna have a new form on the council. So now
Yep.
say you have Carol Fife, right? So now the next
She's up for re-election. Nope. 3 is up for re-election too.
right, but that's what I'm getting. But we talking about the ones that have the impact. District 5, Noel Gal, he's pretty much turned out.
Up for re-election, right?
Right. So that's open. Then the next seat that you have is pretty much Trevor Reed. So if you look at that entity and you have a systematic issue that's going on, that means it's 9 times out of 10, most of the comments they're going to win, but those open seats that plays a major impact is going to be who we're going to go for. If they do the recall, then they have to change the different laws and so forth. But does these new council members understand what they're inheriting once they get in position? So it's still going to be a back and forth shit. Because if you get Kevin's on there, then they'll be like, okay, well, next term, 2, 4, and 6 is going to be up. But then we have the city at large seat. That's a lot of candidates that's running. So we got all these people.
Well, at large is up now.
Yes, but that's what I mean is we have all this different party info. Those who's running, those who protesting, but you have a group of folks are working to make it better without the outside distraction. So if we get a whole new council session, then we get a whole new mayor. How long is that new mayor going to be in there? Because they already have a systematic in place that, hey, if we don't like you, we're going to get rid of you.
Well, I mean, that could happen. If you have, that's fine as far as I'm concerned. If you get another mayor in there who, by the grace of God, I hope not, but winds up to be even worse than the current mayor, then of course the recall gets triggered. That's part of the game. That's part of democracy as we play it out, right?
Yeah.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
What about also another Barbara Parker seat?
Yeah, city attorney.
Seat.
Yeah, city attorney.
So if you get the city attorney seat, that's going to be now that's going to be, that's why I say that's the separate entities. So now if you're on the city council and then you already got a new city attorney, then you have a city administrator that's going to be attached to the mayor and whatever is going on. So how is the relationship with the new mayor, if it is one, to communicate with the city administrator and the city attorney when the city attorney.
Well, the new mayor gets to pick. Unfortunately, I don't like the system, but the new mayor gets to pick a new chief administrative officer.
Correct.
I mean, if you're saying what I hear you saying is there's a lot of change, my thought is, yeah, there is.
Yeah.
And that's the byproduct of the system that we have now. We can't do anything about that now. It's too late to put the genie back in the bottle.
Correct.
Okay. So, I mean, there it is. There it is. But I can't see Shang escaping this. I just can't.
I mean,
She's going to get recalled.
Yeah, I think because it's the number game. So if you figure how many folks you think is going, and that's what we mean.
I think 80% of the people who vote, I don't care the number, will vote against Shang.
Well, what I mean is it's two different groups. So you have
So?
a community group, then you have the organized groups, and then you got the folks that's in it. So if you take in 40 to 80,000 people to mobilize to say we want to get Shang Tao out, but you have another individual that's only using that as a platform. We want to get rid of her. She didn't do this with the department. She didn't do. So the point I'm getting to is all the negative things that people have to say, not just about the mayor, about the city. How can you translate that to something legitimate, positive to move it forward? We understand there's a lot of negative and a lot of madness going on, but how can we save this city and how can we put it in right perspective besides these different groups having their issues?
Well, my point is that, okay, as to how, that's a question that you should write the answer to, but there will be a recall. Yeah. And it doesn't matter the number, and it's simply because Mayor Tao does not have a constituency out there in large numbers that will defend her to keep her job.
Correct.
She spent a lot of, don't you think she spent a lot of time trying to divide the city?
I mean, personally, I just stay focused on not what she's doing and dividing it, what's my role in keeping the community going. Because most of the stuff I don't have firsthand a knowledge of seeing her doing these things. I know it takes a team. I know it takes administration. I know it takes a lot of outside influence, but I never seen it. I'm just more focused on not getting the city recall. How can we have great people that listen to people listen to you, Uncle Zennie, and get the wisdom and knowledge and stay in their lane to make the city move forward and not let the good information and resources that the elders pass get tarnished over conversations that most people is not even in that room. So I wouldn't want to get great information from Zennie and I'm a great person. Now I'm using your great information to go against someone else. And then that's someone else like, hey, me and Zennie good friends. He would not say that. So you can say it, but I can't say it because your relationship is different.
I'm still, okay, my point is that, because I'm still trying to understand you. You're going to vote, right?
Yeah, I'm going to vote.
Now, how are you going to vote regarding the recall?
I'm going to study more before I actually vote. And what I mean by that is even if I vote yes or no, systematic, what's going to affect the people? So if we use this process and say Shang Tao get recalled, that means is we just build another systematic. That means we can recall anyone we disagree with based upon whatever the interest is. So if my interest was I need sidewalks, and I said, hey, she gave this other group $500,000. Now I'm mad because I didn't get the $500,000, but in actuality, me trying to get these street payments, I could have went to a lot of my friends and got a petition and got it signed, and we could all put our money together and do it ourselves. So I'm just getting the folks to not depend on the city or the council. How can we do a lot of the grassroots work ourselves? So when them different departments come, we could be in a better position because the city suffers for it.
So basically, All right. So, how does the Green Party as a whole see the recall?
Oh, we're going no. We're not the Green Party and the Heart. We're not going for the recall. We're not going for the recall for Pamela Price. None of the issues that we know on. But for me, being on the council, being on the national, then the local, I have to have more of a education outlook when I explain this to folks, so it don't seem like I'm part of this hate group against this group against that group. No, I've been doing it for 23 years. I've been laced by the elders, so I'm just passing the tools that they gave me to keep them sharp. I don't want to dull it. So, like I said, if they recall her or don't recall her, how can we move forward with these open seats? And I have to endorse these candidates. So, how can I endorse a candidate if I actually know that this candidate is only here to take the Robert Rules of Order away from the city council? Or this guy got paid by such and such group, and it's not the interest of the people. So, they don't get my vote, my endorsement, rather. So I just want grassroots, authentic people, people who, even if you know a lot about the city or whatnot, let those folks who are experts, like yourself, that have been doing it for years, listen to those folks. But a lot of the folks who
Thank
just
you, brother.
now, yes, and a lot of folks who just now getting into it, they have a different direction. You ask a candidate that's running for office, they don't know the city charter, they don't know city bylaws, they don't know city
Right.
rules, they don't understand port regulations. So it's like, how are you running for something and you don't even know those bases? What kind of administration?
Right.
Yes.
Hey, is there a Green Party candidate out there that you want people to know about?
No, we don't. We have a candidate that's registered green. His name Fabian Washington, and
Yeah, Fabian. I've heard the name. Yeah.
yeah, Fabian. He's gonna
That's
be running.
District 3, right?
Yes, no, he's running for city at large.
City at large. That's
Yeah,
right.
he's
Yes.
gonna
In
run for city
Washington.
at
Yeah.
large.
Right.
But me personally,
Yeah, get him on here.
yeah, thank you. And it's we have a lot of field of candidates that's running, and I think because I'm green, I see it kind of different because I see a lot of Democrats running and they trying to basically see which one is going to be their top candidate or who they want to put their support by. But when you look at it on a fair and balance, you have folks that's running that never had no political experience of running, but they have a great voice, they have great understanding. But then you have those folks that's seasonal and they're only pushing it for a certain line. So it makes the field crowded when it comes to Democrats because it's like we are human beings at the end of the day. But
Yeah.
political politics makes the slate bigger.
What is your take on overall the political scheme? Where are we in a good place or are we in a bad place?
Personally, I believe we're in a good place because more of the younger folks are starting to be more receptive to the elders. And it's like a different shift. Like, say in the 60s, y'all had to really go through no justice, no peace. Y'all really
Right.
had to organize. Y'all
Right.
really had to understand who is COINTELPRO, who's working for the opposition, who's doing all these other things to disrupt the political party.
Mhm.
So then you get our generation at one point in time to wasn't listening to the elders, and then you start having backslashes throughout the country. But I think it's going to get better because y'all are what we have right now. Y'all the books that we read right now. Y'all the videos and documents. Even though other people change the names, y'all the folks that inherited. Everything else is AI generated. So you want to listen to an AI journalist or someone that really wrote with a real typewriter and had to take the thread and
Mm-hmm.
paste.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe it's getting better because
So,
people see it.
do you believe that the police are doing a good job, a bad job? Where are we with our police from your perspective?
In my perspective, I think people don't understand the difference between the police department and the union and how many departments the police have.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I've been saying this for years. We need to just police our own neighborhoods because it's two different departments. So you might have a police officer that's a beat officer, and he goes up and down the street and makes sure that 5,000 residents within his district do not commit crime. A
Mm-hmm.
beat cop. I mean, he know everybody in the neighborhood. But we have these same old folks that's in our neighborhood up and down. They might go to the liquor store, might get, they knew the same thing. So it's like, why should we have to put more emphasis with the department, and we can do a lot of things ourselves. So when
Right.
it comes to the tactical departments, that's totally separate than the police department because you got the homicide department, you got the robbery department, you got this department, you have that department. So if you have all these different departments, a police officer, someone who ride down up and down the street and shake your hand, that's the police officer. Others is tactical. So I believe that we really don't need no police department. I believe we just need systematically, because it's a systematic thing. You
Right.
know, it's systematic that, hey, our job is to get away, your job is to catch us. Okay, we're going to police y'all. But when you look at the funding of the police department and you look at all the great community organizations that's out there, you
Mm-hmm.
can see the disadvantage and the distrust. You get one police officer $100,000, give him some overtime, you're gonna give him 140,000. No disrespect. You can take
Right.
that 140,000. There's only 7 districts in Oakland. You can take that 100,000 and put it in this district. You could put 800,000 or $1 million. Take 8 officers, replace them, take that money and put it back in the community. You're not going to have no crime.
Yeah.
Well, nobody gonna wake up in the morning and say I want to go to jail. You know, nobody gonna wake up in the morning and say I want to do something. So it's more not policing your way out there. It's just an old system that in today's time you really don't need that to prevent it. You know,
I just want to get a quick bottle of water. I'll be right back. I thought I brought it in with me and I didn't. Hold on a second. Hey, while I'm here, tell my viewers what the Green Party is and what it's all about. Would you do that?
Yeah, and I give them a little introduction on who I am. I'm Orlando Johnson. I'm a native out of Oakland. I'm a member of the Oakland Green Party. I also got elected in 2024 to Alameda County Green Party County Council, City at Large. I was also nominated to the Green Party of California as being a delegate, and also got nominated to the Green Party National Committee as a national delegate. I also sit on the Green Party Credential Committee of the United States as currently. The Green Party is pretty much just a group of folks, in my opinion, is separate from all these other groups and just trying to help the people, trying to keep people on the right path, understanding systematic, understanding racism, understanding Palestine, understanding the key fronts on a world level and a national level. So to me, in my opinion, the Green Party has been a great group. I've been a registered Green since 1999, and I've been heavily involved into the Green Parties in Oakland when we started the Oakland Green Party in 2018. I'm known for I ran for mayor of Oakland twice. I was part of the coalition that helped create the Oakland Municipal City ID card. It's an ID card that on the back of it, we're just going to put a bank function on it. And with a public bank, we're going to create an Oakland local currency for the city of Oakland. So all the money can stay in Oakland, don't leave Oakland, and help the percentages and so forth to help the people. But, you know, not too much of me, but I'm Orlando Johnson. You can Google search me. My Instagram is one Orlando Johnson. I'm the CEO of a company called No One Is Better Than No One. It's a consulting company. It helps people on all different levels, from money to business, tax laws, turning 1099 to W-2, EIN numbers, payroll accounts, how to pretty much start your business from the city side, paperwork perspective. But that's me. That's what the Green Party is doing. You can go to oaklandgreens.org, www.oaklandgreens.org, or you can go to Alameda County Council, Green Party. Uh, Google search it, more information will come up.
Treatment can cause your immune system to attack healthy parts of your body during or after treatment. This may be severe and lead to death. See your doctor right away if you have a cough, shortness of breath, chest pain, diarrhea, severe stomach pain, severe nausea or vomiting, headache, eye sensitivity, eye problems, irregular heartbeat, extreme tiredness, constipation, changes in appetite, first year, confusion, memory problems, muscle pain or weakness, fever, rash, itching or flushing. There may be other side effects. Tell your doctor about other medical conditions, your immune system problems. If you have or plan to have an organ, tissue, or stem cell transplant, receive chest radiation, or have a nervous system problem. Keytruda is an immunotherapy and is also being studied in hundreds of clinical trials, exploring ways to treat even more types of cancer. It's true. Keytruda from Merck. See all the tips and Keytruda.com. Ask your doctor. Keytruda.
Oh, I don't hear anything. Uh-oh. Orlando?
Miracle.
Must have left.
No, I'm still here, Zennie.
Oh, you gotta keep them entertained, man.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You gotta keep them entertained. Yeah, keep talking.
Okay.
It's your platform, man. You never leave dead air. That's why I was left you there. Never leave dead air. You know?
Yeah. I dropped some jewels, you know.
Yeah, but you stopped talking. When I walked in, I didn't hear a thing. You can never do that.
Okay.
Hey, Brandon's on. Wait. Brandon is on. We gotta get Brandon in here. Hold on a second. Hey, hey, Brandon, grab the StreamYard link right here. Sync it to your camera and come on in and join us. I haven't seen Brandon in a while.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, but anytime you're on the air like that, just and practice it. Just practice extemporaneously talking, right?
Okay.
You know, because you don't, I mean, you ever have a platform like that, that's valuable. Because
yeah, I didn't want to be greedy. I was honored.
no,
I know
you
it's
know,
your birthday.
who would be greedy when there's nobody else there but you? Usually it's your time, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
No, but you have to, you know, you gotta be able, we gotta be able to, as a group, have confidence when the light is shown on us.
Yes.
You know, you have to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and say, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I can talk that. Yeah, I can say that, you know, and then do it. All right. I gotta ask you, do you know who Earl Harper is?
No. I'm good with faces, bad with names.
So you never met Carol Fife's husband?
I met him at an event with her, but I don't know him personally.
Okay, yeah, that's Earl. That's Earl Harper, or Turha Ak, I believe is his actual.
He cleanup in West Oakland. He do a lot of great work. I see him doing cleanup.
Yeah. But he's up again. I got this press release from. How's your relationship with Seneca Scott?
It's okay.
Uh-oh. Whoa, wait a minute. Oh, I didn't. I'm not opening any can of worms, am I?
No. It's good.
Okay.
I'm fair with everybody. You know, I don't have nothing bad or nothing. I'm fair square. I'm fair, but I'm balanced.
Okay. Seneca sent over this press release that it's kind of scary. And I'll read it to you, okay? Now, I actually interviewed the man that is the focus of this press release. It says,
Gotcha.
Earl Harper, known as Turha Ak, that's the man I'm referring to, and husband of Oakland City Councilwoman Carol Fife, is set to face trial for allegedly attacking Vincent Ray Williams III, founder of Urban Compassion Project. The attack occurred during the closure of an encampment at Fitzgerald Park in February 2023. According to police reports, Harper pushed, choked, and punched Williams. Did you ever know about that?
No, I didn't hear about that.
I will play for you what Vince Williams himself told me on my show in a very, frankly speaking, for me, harrowing, all right, account told by him. Because I never met the man, but he found my number and called me, and I put him on the air. Well, I'm about to play it for you, or at least part of it, because he went on for quite a while. But it's worth hearing. Okay, if only to understand the gravity of what he actually went through, of what he experienced, and so
that we've had relationships with for the.
Okay, so I'm gonna go in. I'm getting the video. Hey, Brandon, you coming in? I'm getting the video. Excuse me.
I think that's another Brandy.
Well, you still come on in. Anyway. You know, why not? It's my birthday.
Yeah.
All right, right here. Boom. Okay. I put him on live as he was on my phone. Here he is. Okay.
Okay.
We're live. Hey, everybody, we're back. We're live, and I apologize for the technical difficulties with StreamYard, but I immediately pivoted and tried the tried and true YouTube system. So we're on with Vincent Williams. He is the founder and CEO of the Urban, I'll was about to say Urban Passion Project, but that's not it. What's the title? The total
Urban Compassion Project.
Urban Compassion Project, folks. And that's what happens when you're doing the multitasking, folks. And so, sometimes. Hey, Vince, thank you for your time. And first of all, yeah, tell us, if you would, what happened regarding the event yesterday, ironically enough, on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, so what ended up happening, it all kind of started way before the initial event or the assault that happened yesterday. I think it's important that a lot of people understand just kind of the progression of what's been going on, the community's take, the city's take, and, you know, advocates and organizations' take on Fitzgerald Park. There was an email chain that was started about the increase in violence, death, and overdoses at Fitzgerald Park on 34th and Peralta. It goes without saying that, you know, these are issues that we have in a lot of encampments in Oakland. Fortunately, I understand them firsthand because I have been a person who was overdosing. I've been a person that has been part of violence in my past. And so, you know, there's a lot of things, there's a lot of root causes to these issues. And there was an email that was started that was talking about a community meeting that was to happen at a church in West Oakland. And at that meeting, I believe a few Saturdays ago, the discussion was based on what the community wanted to see done so that there be a decrease in the amount of violence and overdoses that they had seen, especially as of most recent, where one woman overdosed in her tent, was dragged into the street and essentially forgot about. One person was shot and killed, shot in the head and killed, and another individual was shot in the face and ended up in the hospital. And so, you know, we as Urban Compassion Project showed up to the meeting. There was a lot to be said about advocates that were going into this area that were essentially, quote unquote, homesteading in tents that no one lived in, and actively telling individuals that had already accepted services not to accept services, right? And as a result of that, a person who had prior accepted services and gotten actually into a space called the Lake Merritt Lodge decided to come back, and as a result, he was shot in the face.
Jeez.
And so we've seen this increase in violence, and, you know, it has been a lot of black on black violence, which is heartbreaking all in its own. That's another conversation for another time. But at this meeting, one of the solutions that was presented was that Urban Compassion Project go through with our 3-tiered model, and we work with individuals that we've had relationships with for the last 3 years while we have actively worked in this encampment on a weekly basis. And so we agreed to do that. That Monday, we went in and we actually started working with the unhoused there to clear up everything that they didn't want and that they viewed as trash or debris, right? We made great headway. About half of the trash that was in there was cleared out, all because they told us it could go, and they worked with us. They even helped us clean it up. Tuesday, Wednesday, we did the same thing, and unfortunately, we had to shut it down because I had some health issues. Now, the closure was posted to begin on the 13th at Fitzgerald Park with Public Works. On Monday morning, which was the 13th, emails started coming through saying that there were advocates on site that were telling people not to leave. There had been a couple of people that we had already worked with to get into the services and resources that they desired. This wasn't something that we were telling them to accept. These were services that people were saying, this is what I want. This is no less than what I will settle for. And true to our name, that's what we show up for, to help people receive. So I showed up to the encampment Monday morning, and there was an advocate that was standing outside of a structure, and they were claiming they weren't going to move because the person that lives there wasn't there to speak for themselves. And I told the advocate that's understandable. I understand that, but I need you to understand that we've been working with this individual and she actually accepted services and she's receiving services right now. So you're literally like taking possession of a structure that no one lives in.
You hearing this,
and she
Orlando?
said, well, how do you know this? I said, because I am the one who actively helped her to get the resources that she wanted. All right. Mm-hmm. So if you want to hold someone liable for this, you can hold Urban Compassion Project liable for it. And I can guarantee you nothing's going to fall.
You still there?
What ended up happening is we came to an agreement. They moved out of the way. The city was allowed to take the structure down and actually make some more head. The city was allowed to take the structure down and actually make some more head.
Sorry, Vince, that was you. I was making sure the stream was working right. It is. Go ahead. No more surprises.
So
You there?
Patient Dignity was on site. City of Oakland.
It clears up.
You cut out, Vince.
He comes back.
Vince? Hello? Vince? We may have to call him back. Let me call him back.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 5103332.
Oh, there he is.
6.
Oh, Vince?
Yes, I'm here.
Call drop. Well, you're back. Good. Go ahead. You were saying?
So I was saying that everyone was there. There were a ton of people. Streets were blocked off. You know, the regular thing that you see at closures, except this was a little amplified because a lot of community members were out. A lot of people who actually live around this encampment who have helped out and done great wonders and actually like showing compassion and humanity towards the individuals that lived in these encampments were out because everybody wanted to make sure that whatever was being done or breaking law and policy just to have this encampment closed, but also everybody got the services that they wanted. Operation Dignity was on site, and you know, like I said, I was on site, and we started making some great headway working with some individuals for the services they wanted. What ended up happening Monday towards the afternoon, there was a community member that is actually from the 42nd area, and he was going around. He had a vest on. And a cowboy hat, and he had a picker and he was picking up trash. And at some point what he did was one of the individuals that we were working with, whose son also lives in the encampment, the community member took his shopping cart that he had been putting belongings in that he was going to take with him to his new space. Mm-hmm. And he found out that his shopping cart was missing. He asked me if I had taken the shopping cart. I told him, "Oh, you know me, I wouldn't do that." And he said, "Well, figure out where it's at or I'm not going to leave." Right? Mm-hmm. So I talked to HSD, Amari with HSD. Amari said he didn't know what had happened to him. Talked to an employee with Oakland Public Works, and he confirmed that a gentleman wearing a cowboy hat and a neon vest had pulled the shopping cart to the side and gave it to him and told him that it was trash. And he had disposed of it. All right. Mm-hmm. The individual that had done that was no longer there. The individual that the shopping cart belonged to was informed of what had happened, and he basically said, "You know, fuck that. I'm not going to leave. Mm-hmm. That was my stuff. I needed my clothes. I'm not going to leave. That doesn't make any sense. Who is this person? Where are they?" His son, who lived in the tent next to him, got on board with his father and said, "I'm not going anywhere either. Y'all just taking people's stuff." Right? Automatically, the blame got put on everybody that was still there. Shortly after this, Carol Fife showed up. the operation had been happening essentially all morning already. Carol Fife showed up, and there were conversations that happened that led to her telling some advocates that, and some of the unhoused there, that she was going to go to different, to open up more individualized, like going to tiny homes and telling them that they needed to condense space and move things around so that people could have single occupancy tiny homes.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Mm-hmm. Going to Lake Merritt Lodge and having them open up more space for people so that more people could get in, and going to St. Mary's and having space opened up. Quite literally, you know, I think the community needs to know that a city council member cannot go into these spaces by law and have them open up more space. And per nonprofit policy, HIPAA policy, and other policies that say that people have to be, what's the term that I'm looking for? Compatible to be in certain shared spaces together. There's been a lot of highlighted attention on these tiny homes and other shared spaces. And she was basically promising people that she was going to go into these spaces and get them to open up more space. And what that would call for is for them to go into their records, see what the compatibility is, get the okay to move stuff around, right, to open up this space wherever she went to do that. And it wasn't rational as something that could be done within the time period that they had posted for this closure. So, you know, for years now, we've been requesting to work with Carol Fife and her team because some of the policy that she has proposed seems to be fitting if it could pass. Right? But there's been a disconnect because a lot of the times that she's going into encampments that are dealing with this kind of, high visibility coverage because of what may be going on there or the attention that the encampment is getting, what ends up happening is unless you are the individual that is currently unhoused in that area, she doesn't want to talk to you. She wants the voice of the unhoused. And I have literally been in meetings when she didn't know who I was yet, where she promised the world to individuals living in an encampment and wasn't able to deliver anything. Anything at all. And then the fallback falls on the organizations and the people that are actually tasked with doing this work in the community. And then it comes to, why aren't you helping us? She promises this, and that. So at this day on this encampment, we didn't really say anything to Carol on Monday. Obviously, all operations stopped right after lunch because of the incident with the shopping cart and because people were saying Carol said that she was going to get us A, B, C, and D, so we're going to wait for her. The advocates were there. We need the Black community to know that Carol Fife is utilizing white advocates in the community to tell people to stand their ground and not to accept services, even if the services are rational for them to take, and they've already accepted services. So this was kind of one of those things on Tuesday where we showed up, and in the email block, people are saying, hey, advocates are on site right now, and they're telling people not to leave. There's a difference between advocating for people and their just treatment and allowing them to understand what services are at their disposal and outright telling people, don't take anything that they offer you whatsoever. And as a result, people dying. So on Tuesday, when we showed up, I went to have a conversation with some of the advocates that were there. One of them yelled at me that this was all bullshit and that people weren't getting what they deserved. And I said, we've never met before. Let's just have a conversation. There was another advocate there that I've worked with more than a few times. We have each other on speed dial that I've actually been arrested with because we stand for what's right. Like, we will stand up and advocate for people to stay right where they're at if it's founded, right? If there's a real rational reason, and if they say from the gate, I don't want to go anywhere, this is where I want to live, then we'll be like, okay, we'll make sure that you can stay right here. Whatever the cost is on that. This advocate started yelling at me. No, they're offering this. Carol said this, and that. At this point, Carol's husband, right, who I believe his real name is Ed Harper, comes up into the encampment and
This is Terhaak.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And start saying, start speaking his piece.
Okay.
Right. At this point, we're all just kind of yelling at each other. So I'm figuring, you know what? I'm not going to do this. We're here to help the people that are here. Right.
Mm-hmm. Do you know what he was saying? Was it audible, or is it just that he was?
Well, he came in saying, you know what? That's not what we're doing here. We didn't promise people stuff, and it takes time. Like, it takes time. And I'm like, well, if it takes time, why would you even bring that as a solution?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if it takes time, that's like promising somebody you're going to get them into a 1-bedroom apartment and pay for them for a year when you know you can't.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what that is doing. And nobody, I don't care who you are, can come out here and lie to people and say that you're going to do A, B, C, and D, and you know you can't deliver on it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
And so I walked away from the conversation, and I walked towards the curb on 34th and Peralta, where HSD, Operation Dignity, LaTonda Simmons, and Carol Fife was standing, plus a bunch of community members that were watching, just what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes.
And I walk up, and they're having a conversation about how we're not able to make any progress because the advocates are feeding people misinformation.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I think it's time that we admit that it's not these fucking white advocates that are misinforming people. It's Carol Fife who's misinforming the advocates, and the advocates that are going into this encampment and doing this work for her.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I said, Carol, black people are dying out here, and it's your fault because you keep promising people the world and you cannot deliver on it, and that's not fair.
Mm.
At that point, yes, I'm yelling.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I am amped up, but arguments and heated debates come a dime a dozen in encampments when there's closures happening, where it gets heated.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know at what point that Ed Harper felt upon taking it into his hands, but as soon as I started yelling about the fact that she's making promises that she can't deliver on,
and that's Terhaak.
We need to stop blaming it. Yeah.
Okay.
He jumped in and he started pushing me back physically.
Mm.
Don't approach her. Don't run up on her. I'm not running up on nobody.
Mm-hmm.
You tried to assault her. He's yelling at me. He's yelling at me. And I'm yelling like, you need to stop making false promises. You out here lying to people. You're lying to people. You're the reason black people are dying in our community, and you don't want to admit it, and your voters and your constituents want to believe that you're doing great work. And he's pushing me back. He's yelling over me, so I cannot speak my piece when I have the right to freedom of speech.
Mm-hmm. I have to ask a question, however.
Yes.
Take it from his perspective as a husband, regardless of whatever you think you know or I think I know about the relationship, which in my case is nothing. Did you do anything that, if you were married to her, would give you cause for concern?
I think we have to look at all of the angles here.
No, but I'm saying but it's emotional though. I mean, just honestly. If you were married with, did you do something with that?
Honesty, if I was married to someone who was a city council member who claims to be against the kind of violence that we see in our communities, right? I'm supposed to be in a relationship and married to somebody who runs their own security business and who's supposed to understand de-escalation and all of that.
Yes, sir.
Right? If I am him,
yes, sir,
and I have all of this training,
yes, sir,
and I am with someone who is a trusted servant in the community,
yes, sir,
I am thinking about how I can de-escalate this, not escalate this. I am thinking about all the rhetoric that we have put out about protecting black lives and making sure that we see less black on black crime and violence in our communities.
Yes,
and I'm thinking about how I can potentially de-escalate the both of us, right?
Yes, yes.
Not actively push somebody back, not actively physically bully somebody and exact my form of violence upon them, even if I am in a relationship with them. And that is coming from somebody who spent 26 years of my life so angry and so full of rage that I would respond with violence 24/7 until in the last 3 years, I learned how to manage my emotions and the root causes of my trauma.
Congratulations. Yes, sir.
This is coming from somebody who trained in mixed martial arts for half of my life and has literally gone to prison because my hands are registered as weapons.
Yes, sir.
And given a strike and been charged with assault with a deadly weapon. This is coming from me.
Yes, sir.
The person who just did a bid in prison because, you know, my last bid in prison for 4 years, 8 months, and 19 days because I was affected and I felt like the way that I should stand up for my relationship was with violence.
Mm.
So speaking from that perspective, yes, and what I know in the past I was willing to do to protect whatever relationship I was in, to being where I'm at right now and understanding that like heated debate is fine, but no matter who is on site, we've done distributions where my partner has been with me in the middle of an encampment by St. Vincent de Paul, and we've had people that have literally threatened her safety and welfare, and I've had to de-escalate it. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yes, sir.
Without resorting to violence, and I've had to read the room and say to myself, is this somebody that's really going to be violent towards this person?
Yeah, so
Turhat Ak can say whatever he wants, but he has seen me out in community and never, not once, has he seen me exact violence upon anybody. On the flip side, they have both been witness to the violence that has been exacted upon me and my willingness to accept it without responding back with violence.
Ignore that ring. So what you're saying is if there were a video of this, it would only show that you were talking animatedly because you're upset with a council member, and then all of a sudden you get pushed back because maybe, well, I don't know what the reason was, but you weren't so close that his behavior was. Hold on a second, sorry about that.
He said that I was running up on her.
Yeah, what does that mean?
He said that I was running up on her. When this argument started, we were already close to each other.
Ah.
Right? Mm-hmm. There was I would hope that this video is released, mm-hmm, so people can see what happens when somebody is engaged in a heated debate in community, mm-hmm, right? Mm-hmm. And everybody that is there knows that there is no potential for violence, and then all of a sudden violence happens.
So you quite literally didn't see that coming.
I had no idea that that was going to happen. I had no idea that he was going to physically grab me by my neck, punch me out, choke slam me to the ground, and slam my head against the ground.
Did you hear
Jesus
that?
Christ.
Did you hear that?
I had no idea that that was going to happen in
Wow,
community with police, fire, and
Hold
EMT.
on, let's hear that again. Right here.
We were already close to each other.
Ah.
Right? Mm-hmm. There was I would hope that this video is released, mm-hmm, so people can see what happens when somebody is engaged in a heated debate in community, mm-hmm, right? Mm-hmm. And everybody that is there knows that there is no potential for violence, and then all of a sudden violence happens.
So you quite literally didn't see that coming.
I had no idea that that was going to happen. I had no idea that he was going to physically grab me by my neck, punch me out, choke slam me to the ground, and slam my head against the ground.
Jesus Christ.
I had no idea that that was going to happen in community with police, fire, and EMT, with HSD, the city admin, all of these people standing around watching.
And they didn't arrest him?
They did not arrest him.
That's the shocking part.
And the only thing I can attribute it to is local government protecting local government.
Oh.
But he's not local government.
That was terrible.
Holy cow.
You know, Orlando?
Yeah, that video does need to come out, because if it's there, if somebody has that video, please send it to me.
There was another occasion that you should know of. As soon as I got up off the ground and collected myself, obviously I'm out of sorts and I'm yelling for the police. Y'all need to get the police. He just assaulted me. He tried to kill me. Somebody get the police, right? I'm telling them, you fucked up. You going to jail. I'm pressing charges on you. That's attempted murder. I'm yelling at Carol Fife. This is the type of shit that shouldn't be happening in community. That's black on black crime. How are you going to act like you care about black lives and your husband tries to kill me? And once again, he grabs me by my throat and pushes me up against the car and is choking me. And while he's doing this, OPD is running up. But OPD says they didn't see anything.
My God, I saw in the video that you posted on Instagram, there's at least one Mr. Ock was talking to. But I mean, all that aside, let me ask you, why is it that this problem seems to be complicated by unnecessary actions like or fighting or violence or yelling?
In all honesty, I feel like there has been this disconnect with certain leaders of our community that refuse to communicate, collaborate, and work with other people. With something, with an operation.
I'm gonna stop that right there. I want to get Orlando. I want to get your opinion on what you just heard.
It's wild. I don't know. I wasn't there, but just a picture he painted with that type of crime, heinous crime, and all these people just watched. I don't know. Me just listening. I mean, I'm not on either of the side, but I think his emotions might have been over aggressive, or he said his hands registered, and so I can't see no one just doing all this in front of all these people. And then
that's what happened.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happened.
Wow.
And, I'll post the press release. I'll post the press release later tonight. But that's what happened. And I'm saying that's what happened because a number of people were there to see it. LaTonda was there to see it. It wasn't like it happened in a dark alley. It wasn't like it happened at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
It happened in broad daylight in front of people, including and most notably law enforcement officials with the city of Oakland or associated with the city of Oakland. Wow. So it happened. And I think Vince went on to talk about his damages. You know, it's pretty gnarly. Pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
And what bothered me is that when I first brought this to mention, and I said that it was Carol Fife's fault for allowing this to happen because she's the council member. Then Cat Brooks basically starts jumping on me and, of all things, accusing me of not being black, which is ridiculous. And I didn't respond. I just simply, I don't get into situations like that.
Yes.
But I do feel that what Carol Fife and her crew have brought to the Oakland government to bear on West Oakland has really set us back a long, long way. A long way. And the only way to recover from it is through a regime change to the election. Your Carol Fife should not be the council member. Now, I don't know what's going to happen in court, but it's a pretty awful story, you know.
It is.
And I think when I first heard about it too, what also clued in my mind was the level of mental illness that has developed in West Oakland because of these conditions.
Yeah. I
should say the level of poor mental illness. And that's really on the city to straighten out. So anyway.
That's why I was like, it's two, that's why I say two different entities. We endorse Carol. I know Carol. Like I said, different portals. So the area people might know on this side, I just work on this side. So when a lot of the things come out, if it's negative or if it's publicity, I don't even entertain and get into it because this is not the purpose of why I'm
doing it. Right.
Yeah. And it's sad. Like I said, the guy that went through the traumatic experience and so forth, I mean, you know, my heart goes out to him. My also heart goes out to Carol Fife's husband to even have to be put in a situation if everything went the way it's in it, for both people to even be in a position over something that we know is a political. It's not even political. It's just a systematic issue.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, and it's just sad that, and that's what we was talking. We was talking about in the beginning of it. How these different entities have other people step into a portal and be like, well, Carol says she's going to do this, she's going to do this, and she's going to do that. But we understand you got to go through the administration got to go through this. They have to be contacts to be bridges. But for those folks who know that, that's where they channel that work into. So it's really not the blame on the council person. You know, it's just like the president. You know, you could be like, well, Joe Biden is with Trump, and Trump almost got assassinated by this administration.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're someone that's following the no, you like, well, and the New York DA and everybody they going against him, and you like, well, they got sovereignty immunity, so they're not worried about it. Now they got presidential immunity. That's not the issue. So it's like two different orders. But I just, you know, pray that whatever the situation is, it just come balanced for everyone can learn from the situation and make things move forward. And another thing too is the name dropping. I think in this generation, they don't know it casts a broader shadow because it's not actually what they're doing. So if your fight husband did something to you, okay, that's him. What do she have to actually do with it, even though she's the face of it? You know, it's like accountability. So I can't be like, hey, I'm mad at this person because I have no interest in this person. I have interest in the city. And if you know the city is in turmoil, channel that energy and focus on that. You don't want to be the guy that, hey, I'm the guy that sued the city of Oakland, I sued this department, I sued this, I get all this money, millions, and I got to go through all these changes and so forth. But what about the issue? So then he gonna inherit the issue because all his friends that's sleeping on the streets, now you living in a house in the hills now because you got big money, is you gonna steal. So it's like we said, it's a never-ending conversation.
Sure, right. Sure is.
Focus on it.
Hey, I'm gonna stop it right there. A great hour conversation, man.
Man, you know I love you, Zennie. This was different. I'm just here to be here for your birthday. You know, make sure mom's is good.
Absolutely. That's why I'm about to go back and check on her. Yep.
Hey, this is a beautiful day, man. I know we're 3 hours away, but hey, we made it. Enjoy your week, Zennie. We'll talk more too.
God bless you. Hey, man, come on back on and get a good group of people.
Oh, yeah, I'm ready now. I'm seasoned.
All right.
Take care.
All right. Hey, don't move a muscle. I got here, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. I've got one more live stream on a run about Simone Biles and some YouTube shenanigans, and that's going to be it. Well, maybe. Anyway, subscribe to Zennie62 on YouTube, and that ends the stream. Thanks, Orlando.
Thank you, Zennie. Take care.